I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Swiss Chalet's festive special is back. Canada's favorite rotisserie chicken, cranberry sauce, stuffing, Lindor chocolates, and a scratch and win card where everyone's a winner. It's a tradition truly worth sharing. The festive special, only at Swiss Chalet.
All right. Good afternoon or morning, depending, I guess, on where you're watching from. Could even be evening, I suppose. My name's Shawn, Joyce. I'm joined by Terry Corbin, and you are watching the Swiss Chalet Women's Curling Stadium Spiel from North Bay, Ontario, North Bay Granite Curling Club, here on the Curling Stadium and Curling Zone YouTube channels. We've got a good game for you coming up here. This is out of Pool D, round robin play here in the women's play. Katie Ford from Guelph, Ontario, playing against Danielle Inglis out of Ottawa. And these two teams both played twice already. Katie Ford comes in with a record of 2-0. And Danielle Inglis 1-1. They're in 16 pools, but they're only playing 4 games in the round robin within their pool. So you got to think 3 wins will make the playoffs somehow. Katie Ford already at 2. Danielle 1-1. She kind of needs a win here, but Katie Ford could lock up a spot in the playoffs with a win here this afternoon. The teams have a practice session before the game and draw to the button to determine who's got last rock. And it looks like that last rock was won by the Ford team. They are throwing the blue stones. First stone brought into the rings. This is the lead for the Ford team. Tori Zemelink. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, so apologies in advance if Grandma's watching and I got it wrong. Second is Madison Fisher. Emily Madaw plays third, and Katie Ford is the skip.
You'll likely hear from Grandma if you did.
Well, I might, but I've said this on the air before, and nobody's ever argued with me. These teams will all tell you if you ask them. It really doesn't matter how you pronounce the name as long as you spell it right on the giant check at the end of the event.
You got that right.
Cassandra de Groot is the lead for the Inglis team. The second is Calissa Day, Kira Brunton the third, and Danielle Inglis in the house, the skip. With that first stone coming into the rings, it looks like the two teams here might be content to simply exchange hits here in the first end, although that one's very wide. You will occasionally see a team with last rock just play a hit on the first one when it comes in to try to get the play away from the center line and then throw a corner guard on this one, but looks like she's content to play the hit at it.
Yeah, I mean, just from doing 2 previous games, we've had some struggles with draw weight, unfortunately.
Well, some struggles with hit line on that one as it goes by a couple of inches, so a chance now for the Inglis team to draw into the rings, sit 2, and see if they can't get the force in this opening end.
Yes.
That was the one downside to playing that hit. When it rolled to just biting the edge of the rings like that, it's entirely possible. You don't get to throw a hit out there very often. It's entirely possible. We're only 3 games into the event for both of these. Well, 2 full games. This is their third. She may not have seen a hit out there. It didn't look like when she put the broom down, she was 100% confident that she knew where to put it. And as it turned out, did not come up as much as they were hoping.
Yeah, we saw in our last game, which was this morning, we saw a lot of in-out takeouts that certainly didn't curl as much as the girls thought that it would curl.
Madison Fisher looking for the hit now. She'd like to roll towards that other red stone, but this looks like it's going to roll a little bit too far out of play. She could roll over to that side of the ring somewhere and stay in where Inglis had to play it. Might be able to set up a double and get back to a blank situation. Alyssa Daly, another opportunity to simply draw 4 foot. Right on the button with her first one. Nothing out of the brushers this time. Might be a little strong. I have to admit, I'm surprised she's going after the one in the middle now. It's a long double, but the angle's there, and if you ever want to get back to a double, it's easier to do it off the rock on the side of the rings. This stone at the back of the 4 isn't much of a threat. She'll make the hit, and once again, it's going to roll just a little too far out the side. Kira Brunton, third straight draw attempt for this Inglis team, just trying to put something in the 4 foot. Slides to the back 4, but it would be a pretty thick attempt at a double. She's been hitting this rock all along, so expect she's going to try to hit the center line one. Try to roll probably just into the 8 foot on the other side of the rings, then that might give her angle for a double if the exchange of hits is made, but they've had some trouble getting this roll so far.
Yeah, she seems content to play this path. I'm sure she'd like to get that over just a tad bit closer to that red one, but
yeah. I have to admit, I'm not familiar with the Ford team at all. I don't think I've seen them before myself.
Yeah, I haven't either. I mean, certainly Emily comes from a curling background. Her mother Sherry and father Wayne. But I too am not familiar with their curling past.
New team, though, I believe, this year. I think, wasn't Emily playing with Laurie St. George last year?
Yes.
And as I was going to say, I don't know this team, but this looks like she's content after the miss on the hit on the outside earlier to just simply exchange hits in the middle, and if she has to take one, she'll take one. The only way she's going to get back to the blank playing in here is if she can get a rollout from the Inglis team. Well, this would be sneaky if she could hang on for shot rock here, but no, it's just going to roll a bit too far, I think. I think it's still biting, though.
They're having a good look at it.
Yeah, well, I think the red one is shot, but that blue is still biting. Too. And that makes it just a little bit more critical that Danielle Inglis does not set up a double here. Now, she's only got to avoid it for 2 more shots.
That's right. Well, while we may not know a whole lot about Katie Ford and her team, certainly Danielle Inglis. She comes as a very accomplished curler. She won the 2008 Ontario Junior Women's Curling Championship. Um, and then she played third for Mike Anderson's team that went on to win the 2018 Canadian and World Mixed Curling Championships. She's been a constant at the Ontario Scotties. So she's got a lot of experience under her belt. I know she's played with Cassandra in the past. I don't know about the other two girls, so.
I got to give a nod to our producer, Connor Sims. He's messaged me just to let me know that this team is the same as last year, the Ford team, except for the lead, Tori Zemelink, and it was actually Emily's sister that was playing with Laurie St. George. So.
Okay. I knew one of the Madaws was playing with Laurie.
Danielle Inglis with a draw to the button, sits 2 for now. Katie Ford will look to hit it. I'd still, if it was me, would like to roll to that 8 foot on the same side as the other red stone on the chance that she leaves you some kind of shot for a double on the last one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think an exchange of nose hits would leave it up high enough to play off the center line one into that one on the side. So I think you've got to get the roll.
Yeah. I know Katie, just because I knew a couple of the guys that went to University of Waterloo. I know she curled on the girls' university team.
Well, she gets a roll over to the 12 foot there.
Mm-hmm.
It is shot rock. Danielle's going to have to make a play on it now. If she hits it right on the nose, it would be a very tough double.
Yes.
But you look at where the front edge of her rock's going to be when she makes contact. If she rolled just into the 8 foot, it might be interesting. It might be worth looking at.
Yeah, no, for sure. Actually, the last time I saw Katie, and I don't get out and about as much as I used to, but last time I saw Katie, she was not skipping a team.
Was she at least curling? Like
she was. She was.
Yeah. If you saw her at the grocery store, that
yeah. Yeah, no, I don't recall who she was playing third for, but
well, this is rolling somewhere.
Yeah, and
she might make the double though. Oh, just misses the back one. She got a big roll back to the center line. Now the angle's there if you wanted to take it on.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like she even wants to think about it. She glanced over that way.
Yeah, this is just kind of, I think, a philosophy thing. I mean, I used to play, and our coach would demand that we would, if we had the opportunity to take one in the first end, we take it. He didn't even like, if this was the only rock in play, he did not want you to blank it. Bless his heart. He and I had some major run-ins, but I liked having the hammer in my back pocket. I don't care whether it's the first end, the third end, or the fifth end. I want to maintain the hammer, but he was adamant that psychologically, you being up was an advantage, and so he and I didn't see eye to eye on that concept.
Yeah, I'm not sure a whole lot of people would see eye to eye with that concept, but in this particular case, Katie Ford makes the hit at the back of the 8 foot, stays in the rings, gets her single point. She's on the board. It'll be Danielle Inglis with last rock in the second.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, you got it.
Come on. Okay, what else? What do you got? You got one, you got two, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
'Tis the season to enjoy Swiss Chalet's festive special. Canada's favorite rotisserie chicken, cranberry sauce, stuffing, Lindor chocolates, and a scratch and win card where everyone's a winner. Your favorite tradition, the festive special. Only $17.99, only at Swiss Chalet.
Katie Ford comes into this draw with a record of 2-0, comes into this end with a lead, 1-0. They bring the first stone into the button. Danielle Inglis calls for the corner guard. And that's where we are as we rejoin the action here. We talked a little bit in the first end just about the standings in this pool, with Ford sitting at 2-0 and Inglis at 1-1. Pools A and C have already played 3 games. There is only one team currently that has 3 wins. There are 6 more that are 2-1 between those two pools. In Pool B and C, which are on the ice now, there are a total of 4 teams at 2-0, 4 more teams at 1-1, and another 4 teams at 0-2. Both teams have the same records across. Those 0-2 teams, really, it's must-win territory. You've got to win 2 and hope that your draw to the button score is good enough to get you into the playoffs. But it certainly looks like 3 wins in any pool should get you a playoff spot.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think I've played or been involved with many Bonspiels where 3-1 doesn't get you through.
It will happen once in a blue moon, and it's
That's
just
right.
because they play they use the draw to the button scores as the tiebreaker. So if you end up with enough teams tied, but it really doesn't look like that's mathematically possible here. Now, I guess I'd have to check to see who's got to play who to know that for sure. But
Yeah.
it looks like we have one of those fields where everybody's playing each other tight, and that means you're more likely to have a logjam at 2-2 than at 3-1.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, given the size of the field, I mean, it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
You just look even at the slam events. I mean, they're playing 4 games, and now there's less teams, obviously. But 2-2 usually gets you a tiebreaker. But here, I mean, you might be hard pressed to get a tiebreaker at 2-2.
Well, and here they're not playing tiebreaker games. If it's here,
That's right.
it's the cumulative draw to the button. So that draw to the button that I mentioned before the game that they use to determine who's got last rock, well, they keep track of them for the entire event and add that up. That's your score for your tiebreaker.
Yeah, I don't know, because I don't know the actual rules. I mean, typically they throw your worst one out, but they may be counting all 4 of them here.
Yeah, they may still throw the worst one out. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to assume with any event, because these Bonspiels can set their own rules for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough in an event that's only got 4 attempts, though. If you throw the worst one out, there's not a lot there to separate the teams. But Danielle Inglis ignoring the shot stone, looking for the come around on the corner to try to set up her deuce here, and it slides all the way through the back. This is the 7th rock of the end, so they can make a play on that corner guard now. It does look like, from what we saw in the first end and what we're seeing here, Katie Ford As much as she looks very young, she's got that old school conservative approach to skipping the game.
This is a good shot.
Inglis facing 2 now, going to look to play the hit and roll back towards the center. There is a chance she could get both of them. Hard to hold your shooter, I think, if you're getting both of them. It looks like it's a little thin on the first one.
Yeah. Looks like a half a rock double.
We're not going to find out because she's a little thicker than half. Misses the back one, does roll the shooter to the center line. Still Ford sitting 1 on the side. Asking Emily Madoff for the nose hit.
That's such a nice release.
Yeah. Ford once again sitting 2. This time Inglis going to go after the stone at the edge of the 8-foot. Try to roll in. She signaled the corner of the 4. I don't know if she'd try to get right under the blue on this one or not. Should be behind the tee line if she did. It's a vulnerable position. But she certainly, again, wants to get these rocks closer together to have a chance at the double later on.
Yeah, exactly. This is hanging out there.
Yeah, it might just get up to the nose.
Yeah.
Not even quite. Not sure whose second shot. I don't think it matters. Katie Ford not likely to ignore an opposition stone when she doesn't have last rock.
Yeah.
Now, this is where they got in trouble in the first end because they tried an inside-out hit like this and it didn't come up nearly as much as they expected. Now, they have cut down the ice here, and this, of course, is the other end of the rink, but it's the same side of the sheet. Had the room in the right spot that time. Makes the hit.
Good. Yeah, good throw.
Danielle looking for the hit, roll back to the middle again, and you can see how much she's tightened up the ice. She's inside the edge of the rock here, playing that same shot they just threw. If this gets the same finish, she should get a little bit of roll here. Boy, not very much.
No, just pretty much a nose hit.
Katie Ford looking at the roll now. If you rolled in behind your own stone at the top 12-foot now, you'd be in front of the tee line. If you make the nose hit, the angle's not bad for Danielle Inglis to take a run at the double.
Yeah, I think it's kind of critical that she sticks around. I think
she has to stay for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Danielle would be tempted to, I think, go in and around that one on the top of the 12, but depending on her conservative or aggressive play would dictate kind of where she goes with hers.
Well, I think she'd hit it, but you give her the chance to blank if you don't.
Blank, sure.
If you leave a double here or if you roll out. I'm just looking at the angles thinking her best bet might be to roll right to where the broom is. It's going to leave it as a very thin double.
Yeah.
Either way, if Danielle wants to take it on. But certainly if she rolls to dead buried behind her own, that won't be disappointing to her. She'd be top of the button. This is close.
It's going to get a little roll.
Yeah, they obviously weren't trying for the big roll.
No.
So it's left the angle very thin for either attempt of the double, whether it's a slash or the in-off. So Danielle's going to look at hitting or rolling under the blue. The danger with a shot like this is always it's going to be a short run for your opposition on their own stone to sit 2 buried. Well, they'll be sitting 2 and shot rock will be buried behind the second shot rock. This is where you want to roll behind, but you probably only want to roll about half behind.
Half, yeah.
Just so they can't run that back and stick it, and you're in all kinds of trouble. First stone here for Danielle Inglis. She's facing 2. She does have last rock. Gonna make the hit. Now, how far is she gonna roll?
Close. This is close. Oh, she rolled just maybe too far.
Or not far enough. One or the other.
Well, yeah, I suppose, eh? This allows Team Fort to run their own back and sit 1-2, and
yeah, it's one of those ones where you can't decide whether that was a good shot or not until you see what your opposition does.
That's right.
Now, the other thing that's interesting about this, if Katie Ford does make this run back, dead sticks it straight back, the blank is still a possibility because the front edge of this rock is going to be out of the rings. Danielle could elect to play the double, and her shooter would stay out of the rings.
But if it's dead nutted, I mean, to make the double, she's going to have to be on one side of the rock or the other. And
not very far, though. This is not going to dead nut it. I don't know if... Well, it's pretty close.
Yeah, it's on the rings to the top one.
Well, it is.
So,
but if Danielle was to hit it again, the shooter wouldn't be. Like, she could play the nose hit double here. She definitely doesn't have to risk rolling into the rings, but she's not even looking at it.
Yeah.
You could see on the replay, they were on the brush early. They could tell it was struggling to hold that line, just crosses it a hair. Danielle already has the broom down for the draw. Didn't even look at the double. So content to draw against 2, needs to be almost full 4-foot here to get her single.
I know you're down 1-0, but are you a little bit surprised here, Shawn?
Well, yes and no. I mean, again, I know Danielle a little bit. She's an excellent drawer, and this is, draw to the button path. It is the path she threw in the pregame practice, so she knows this path. She's probably feeling pretty confident here.
For sure. She's got it.
Catches a piece of the button. She will put her single point on the board. We're all tied up after 2 ends of play. It'll be Ford with last rock in the third.
Hey Canada, head on down to Montana's for our 50-day aged 7-ounce sirloin flame grilled with 2 sides and onion rings, all for just $25.99 every day. Premium steak without a premium price. Only at Montana's, Canada's home for barbecue.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, Spiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Ontario. Toronto.
All tied up here as we begin the third end. Center guard thrown up just a little piece of the center line, enough to put it in the no-tick zone. Tori Zemelink attempting the come around on the intern side. I say that the intern side, I better look real quick. I don't think we've got any left-handers on the sheet.
No, we're good.
They usually throw one at me just to mess me up.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, that's only because you're too good at what you do.
That rock is in the rings, not buried, so Cassandra DeGroot a chance to make a play on it. And that this looks like it's out there a bit.
Yeah, it looks like it's way out there.
Trying to sweep for a little bit of curl. This might just put it behind the guard. Well, it will push it past the guard. Was biting the 12-foot, now biting the 8-foot. Does it change the shot for Katie Ford at all? You have to be a little bit careful with where you put this coming around center that you don't leave a double.
So, do you like this no tick rule when the rock's on the center?
I hate answering this one on the air as an announcer because I know what they're trying to do with it from the announcers from the side of building offense. But no, I hate it, and it's not so much because of the shot. It's because the tick shot. Just because teams were getting good at it doesn't mean you want to get rid of it. It's, to me, that tick shot is a very skilled shot, and it's a team shot because the line, the throw, like everything comes into it. So I just hate that they're taking that one out of the game. I would rather have seen them go in other directions first. It's just that's a very good shot. Just because a few players have gotten very good at it doesn't mean that it's easy for every team. It certainly starts to look that way at the Grand Slam level, but it's still a very skilled shot, and it's a team shot, and I'd like to see it left in the game. I think there were other ways they could have gone first. Hit and roll made there, so now the red stone on the corner of the blue. It is still the blue stone belonging to Katie Ford that is shot rock.
And I like this call. I think, I know she's a young skip, but I think there's some maturity here in playing this shot. This looks a little warm.
And it's a long ways out there. You might want to go plan B and try to split the blue.
Yeah.
Have to make sure the shooter is behind it, and it is, so no double available there. Did roll far enough that it's only third shot for the time being. Danielle still has to figure out how she wants to approach that blue stone in the 4-foot. Tough to do much with the stones at the top of the 4. She could come down and did look at that, just tap or roll. And the problem is it's hard to get to the nose of the red. And if you roll off at all, you could leave a double on the reds to sit 3.
Yeah, that would be my concern by playing
Yeah.
the red one, is that you actually help Team Ford.
Yeah, the angle on the red-blue is pretty good for Danielle Inglis right now. You don't really want to change the angle. You wouldn't mind coming down to it as long as you could make the tap and not change the angle, but it's hard to get to the nose. So they're going to play the back. Bluestone try to roll into the middle, and again, this hanging out quite a bit.
Yeah. You start to wonder, I mean, we don't have a line of delivery, really, so you don't know whether that's too much ice, too much weight, or they're just not throwing it well.
Gives Katie Ford a chance to address those two stones in the middle. They were looking for the corner freeze a couple of shots ago. Now, with having moved their own stone over, they really need to change this angle a little bit to make sure they've got a chance to get the red one out later. Still a delicate shot. She can't afford to roll off very far, or she might leave a double on the blues as well. Got to get close to the nose of the red. She'll look to tap the blue back a little bit and then try to leave the blue-red angle to go over the top of the shot stone. This really curling, though.
Yeah, this is either going to be just a tick. Oh, she actually rubbed it. And
she might have been better off to rub it thicker and just roll open. By crossing it like that, she's actually left the angle on the blue-red still favoring Danielle Inglis, and a chance to freeze now to shot rock, which is behind the tee line. Just your gut instinct on a shot like that when you're calling the line and on the brushes is, we gotta get by, we gotta get by. She might have been better off not to get by.
I really wonder if they're just getting fooled here.
Yeah, the weight wasn't bad for what they were playing. A foot or two deep. Well, actually, with sweepers, she could have thrown it, 4 feet lighter and got it there. But I'm not sure that's enough to get to the face. She just touched the edge of the stone as it was.
So I didn't see the call here.
Well, she's tapped in a couple of places. It's an either or, but I think plan A is to get right down to the corner of their own shot stone.
Okay, yeah.
Corner freeze, that red stone at the top of the 4-foot was also gestured. And I think you'd call that a plan B. They're basically the same line. You have to sweep them a little different, so there needs to be some communication here. Certainly the Ford team looks to be getting a lot more curl on these shots than the Inglis team. She's going to end up cornered on the red, but bounces off a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think there's room to drive it across the face of the shot stone, though. And if she drives it straight back, it's coming onto the other red as well. You'd have to throw some weight. You could make it. You could make all three of these go away. You'd nose hit blue onto blue. It'll catch that red at the back of the 4-foot. But could spin all the way out.
I think that's what Danielle's asking Kira to have a look and see if you think that that blue goes over the top of the red. Yeah, see, that's...
Yeah, I can point to it with my pen, but I don't have a telestrator. Yeah,
I know.
If Jerry's listening.
Yeah, I keep telling Jerry I need my telestrator. This permanent marker on my screen is no good.
She's straight back on the blue in the 8-foot. It catches the blue shot rock at the back corner of the button. That one goes easy. The first stone's going to come across. I don't see any way. I mean, I guess if you really, really blasted it and got the first one just slightly off nose, so you hit the second one thick, you might be able to get it over the top of the red. But you're going to catch that red more times than not.
I don't know if you're going to catch it enough to push it out of the rings. I think that was more
No,
Danielle's
probably not.
concern.
But I think your worry would be that if you come just slightly past the nose on the blue stone that you're hitting first, you kind
Oh,
of drive it
yeah.
into the crotch of those two, and you'd leave the blue one in the 4-foot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might be open, but it would be shot rock if it stays in the 4-foot.
Well, and if you hit it high side, I mean, again, the blue's probably going out, and you lose your red. The shooter's probably not going to stick around, and if it does, I mean, it's going to be out in the 12-foot. That might be the miss. But I like where that red one is right now. If I'm Inglis.
Looks like they've settled on the hit.
Mm-hmm.
Have to think with that broom, this is coming with some weight.
Everything to date's been very much on the high side.
Yeah, just a little on the high side again. Jams it. Leaves her shooter in a decent spot. There's still angle to play it onto the blue again, and no shot available on that intern side now for Katie Ford.
Yeah, that was a little choppy, so we didn't really get to see how the rocks reacted.
Yeah, she threw it much harder than it looked like on the camera shot when it took that long to get down. That was from
Yeah.
that was our technical issue. She really doesn't like that red stone where it's sitting. Looking at playing the double red stone in the 8-foot onto the red, just biting the back of the 4. It's a little risky, but I get where she's coming from. She doesn't like that red one where it sits. Hard to cover her own shot stone with this. She's likely rolling across it.
But I'm with her. I don't like that red stone there if I'm Team Ford.
Well, she might be able to come off the back of the blue stone in the 8-foot and maybe get onto that second shot stone as well. I don't think she can remove it, but she might get a corner freeze out of this where she's got a chance to get rid of it later. Right now, she's got a hard time getting rid of that red one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just thought about it when she was looking at it all. I thought that maybe peeling that top red one on the center line would have been a good shot.
She's not getting the double that she wanted. She might get the other double. That is not what she called, but if you knew you could make it.
That's right.
That would have been a good call, yeah.
Yeah, you just look at the other skip and go, your turn.
Danielle Inglis is in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, she really is.
Certainly the two teams aren't getting the same amount of curl on their shots. There's a hit attempt for the Ford team that moved big, and you just saw Kira Brunton's hit on the outside. We're seeing the same thing with the draws. The Inglis team is not getting the same amount of curl, and again, we're not necessarily watching the release. It's hard to know if it's just the way the two teams are throwing them. Certainly the Inglis team has plenty of rotation. I don't know whether they're throwing in. You will see a lot of the teams nowadays, when they know they play on a lot of really swingy ice, will have, you hate to call it a set, but when they put that extra rotation on, they throw it in such a way that it holds straight for a while.
Yeah, I think that I call it the north-south handle. A lot of the curlers that are playing on these arena ice surfaces predominantly have gone to the straight north-south handle, and then they in-out it.
Looking for the freeze on shot rock.
Without a
Boy,
bounce.
Is that any good?
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Couldn't even see all of that stone from the hacks, and locks it right on the corner.
Yeah. Those are the ones you like as a sweeper. Yeah, I couldn't screw that up. I just had to watch it.
Oh, they could still screw that up. I've seen sweepers that could still screw that up. I'm surprised she's not looking at the straight back on the guard, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I am too.
The straight back on the guard is not only your get out of jail, but it still keeps 3 or possibly 4 alive.
Yeah.
She's looking at, can she hit this right on the nose, double out the red and the blue? She'd have to be right on the nose to have any chance to be shot rock. If she's anything on the outside, the red at the back of the forefoot would be shot. Danielle will draw likely on the other side, sit 2, and you'll be forced, and it's not going to be an easy shot to get your 1.
Yeah.
If you run the guard back here, even if you miss it, I'm not seeing where you don't have a shot to score.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, I think the best, well, your best outcome here is, I think it probably still favors Inglis.
Well, I think if she gets right to the nose, makes the double on the red blue, I think her shooter is shot rock.
Do you? Okay. Yeah.
Maybe, just. And it's certainly in front of the red. Danielle can't hit it, because if she picks it out, she's leaving a shot for 3.
Yeah.
She'll still have to draw on the other side. Now, if it rolls anything at all broomside, I'm sure that the red at the back of the forefoot is shot rock. Boy, she can't afford to touch her own at the front of the forefoot either. This is close. No, she's got a really good shot.
Yeah, she made that as she called it. Not a lot of air between the one she's trying to hit and the one that's 1, 2, 3 inches above it. That was humming too.
Yeah, she actually got that ever so slightly to the inside, got a little roll inside.
Yeah, so does Danielle throw that out turn, or does she guard it?
She could guard. But what do you guard? She can still see a piece of the red stone, the back of the forefoot. So you have to guard that, which means you have to come out a little bit wider. Well, if you do that, do you leave her enough of that blue stone to run it back? You know, a nose hit on the blue, again, is still worth 3.
Mm-hmm.
The target here is a rock and a half wide. It's pretty hard to guard all of that with 1 stone. She can see half of the red rock to pick it out.
Mm-hmm.
She can see all of the blue rock to run it back.
Yeah, man, oh man, if Danielle ever had the confidence to throw that out turn draw, she could look like a winner here.
Well, she could. It's hard to put the out turn draw in a great spot either, though, because she's got the blue that's just biting the third shot stone. You know, if you don't get well buried, it's half a rock on that is going to come onto anything she's going to draw around on the out turn side. I wonder if she's not playing the freeze right onto the face of the blue. Then even if they make the run, it's still only for 1. It's hard to put this guard in front of the house and take both shots away.
Well, that is what she called. Kira's kind of just watching the line, and I think they're worried that it's going to overcurl.
Well, it's already overcurled. The shot to the direct to the red stone at the back is already there. She's taken away the run back. But there is a shot there for Katie Ford to get at shot rock, pick it out for 3.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to whip it either, because she's only got to get it.
That's right.
Most of the way out of the 8-foot. Touch it at all, you're good for 2. If you get it out of the 8-foot, it's for 3.
Yeah, and I think you gotta play it.
Yeah, it's just a question of how much weight she wants to play. I mean, you could make it with hack weight. She could be looking at perhaps even just the heavy draw. If she just taps it back, she could use her shooter to get the third point.
I mean, I like the hack weight calls myself, but
You bring the sweepers into it more for sure, like that.
Yeah. This is kind of just committing to whatever weight you're going to throw, and just, I don't want to say hope that you have the broom in the right place, but put the broom and then decide what weight you're throwing and just commit to it. Because I mean, from the hack, you don't even see that red one.
No, but that guard is pretty long.
Yep.
It's the nice part for me is that the blue stone that's shot at the top of the forefoot is kind of overburied, so you have a hard time hurting yourself on this one. With any kind of weight, it's hard to get to that blue stone.
Mm-hmm.
Final stone, third end, Katie Ford. She comes in with a record of 2-0. You have to figure 3 wins will get you to the playoffs. Looking with quiet weight to just tap that red stone back. This might be a little too quiet.
Yeah, they're brushing this hard.
I was expecting hack weight. This looks more like a back liner.
This is really close to making it.
What a great job by the brushes.
She has made it.
Moves it just far enough and holds her shooter. It's for 4.
4. What a great curling shot.
4 points here in the third end for Katie Ford. She jumps out to a 5-1 lead in a game that may be able to punch her ticket into the playoffs. Danielle Inglis will have last rock. It's the Swiss Chalet Women's Curling Stadium Spiel here on the Curling Stadium Network. Fourth end action for you right after this.
Swiss Chalet's festive special is back. Canada's favorite rotisserie chicken, cranberry sauce, stuffing, Lindor chocolates, and a scratch and win card where everyone's a winner. It's a tradition truly worth sharing. The festive special, only at Swiss Chalet.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we can spread joy.
An outstanding shot by Katie Ford on her final stone in the third end. One more look at it. Brushers were on this early and all the way down. She's got to get just by her own stone at the top of the forefoot. Looking to move that red second shot back far enough to get 2 or 3, or as it turns out, with that quiet weight that she threw, holds her shooter, and it turns into 4. That is a huge lead to get things started off here in the fourth end. We talked about it a little bit during the break. With a 4-point lead now, you got a pretty good idea how this end is going to start. Katie Ford calls for the first one into the forefoot. Danielle Inglis called for the corner guard. Now with that first stone being right at the top forefoot on the center line, they're going to look to protect it. This has got a curl. Gets a little kiss off the corner guard. Is it going to go too far? Maybe just a little.
But it is got a piece of the center line.
It does, so it makes it a little risky to go after Shot Rock just now, and Danielle going to make the play towards their corner guard. This is as far ahead as we could guess. It's iffy after this with 4 points down. You know, Danielle could have played a second corner. I don't think she's going to when that center guard is so well placed. She could play the freeze to shot rock. It's tough. It's a tough port because of the stagger on the guards. Or she plays the come around on her corner, which is what they're going with.
Yeah. Going back to that last shot, the I guess key for me was, I mean, as we saw at the end, it just got by the one on the top, but when it was at the hog line, there would have been such a temptation to call the sweepers off, because it looked like it was fairly well out there. It had to curl, but they kept right on that, and it was a good thing that they did.
Yeah, you were seeing the line different than I was. I thought they had to
right?
go. Yeah. But I like the weight choice in that. With that weight, if it over curls after it gets by the guard and touches your own stone at the top of the 4 foot, you're never pushing it through the 4 foot. You'll move it over a few inches, and you're still getting your one that way. Come around on the corner is well buried, so Katie Ford going to play another stone towards the middle this time, trying to come right in. This is a tough stagger here. Going to be on the corner guard. Yeah. That is still a free guard, so Danielle was ready to sweep it, but it's not going to get anywhere near the divider. The second shot stone wide open now in the 8 foot, and staggered centers on the shot rock in the 4 foot.
Yeah. She's opted to clean the front up a bit. It's a hard decision to make when you're down 4.
Yeah, you don't have to really whip this. She could try to hit it, just hit roll over to a corner guard. Even if you jam the first one, that shot stone would be open. Boy, you cannot afford to over curl this and miss the second guard, though. Rushers held that just well enough to get the double. The shooter stays up to protect shot rock a little bit. That was a good job by the Brushers, though. If you over curl on that and miss the second guard, there's still a double center up.
Mm-hmm.
Your rock in the 8 foot was going away on this shot because it's wide open. We can't hear the players, but I do think that little arm gesture we saw there suggests that one might have been just a bit outside.
Yeah.
You saw Katie right away throw her arm out after it was released. So she makes the hit, rolls away. Ford sits 1. Half behind cover, top of the 4 foot. And Calissa Daly going to look to come down and just move it back a little bit this time. She'd love to get to the inside of the nose if she could and leave her shooter buried.
Not bad.
Taps it to the back half of the tee line at least. Left a corner of her red stone behind cover, so tough to remove it past the blue.
Mm-hmm.
I have to admit, I wasn't a big fan of the guard call with the lead. There's room to get to that blue around the outside right now, so they're going to peel the guard. I'd be tempted to peel this the other way. You got to watch that red that's still outside the rings. This is really over curling.
As they say, just like she knew what she was doing.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think she wanted to leave that guard there at all.
No, I know.
Danielle's got a shot at the blue stone now. She's not going to play it yet because, of course, she'd like to get a big end going here. If they could play the same shot they just threw, tap the red onto the face of the blue, she could be in a spot where neither red is easy to remove, and that blue is still vulnerable at the back of the 4-foot. We could be bringing 3 into play here.
Well, and Danielle's team will certainly be trying to do that.
Line's close here.
Yeah.
Taps the red onto the blue. Maybe a little more weight than they would have liked. It spread everything out more, and it's probably left a double on the reds. She didn't want to roll that far.
Yeah.
You just tap that to frozen and stay basically right there, partly behind cover. And Katie Ford doesn't have an easy shot. Now they've got a double to get out of a little bit of trouble here. There's still 3 rocks to come for each team. Emily Madaw with her final stone here in the 4th end, looking for the double. Needs to be just a shade on the high side.
It's close.
Gets one, catches the second one, out the side, keeps her shooter as well. Ford sits 2. One more look at this. Needs to be just a little bit on the broom side to get the double. On the sweep most of the way down, stays just on the high side. Very thin piece of the second one, enough to drive it out the side. And by hitting the first one that thick, she keeps her shooter. I am a little surprised. Danielle was looking at playing the hit and roll. I don't see a blank here, so I think you're drawing. And with that ice, I think she's freezing the back one, it looks like. And that's... Yeah, I'm not sure I'm playing this. I think I want this in front of the tee line somewhere, dead buried.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I'm in that on the same template that you are. A little heavy, but
yeah, but it's back far enough. There's definitely a way that Katie can pick it out. She could follow it down as well if she really wanted to. Guard is fairly long. It's a little more than halfway.
Yeah.
And she's hitting a stone in the back 4 foot, so there is probably 16 to 18 feet after the guard before she gets the rock she's making contact with. So lots of room to finish. She doesn't have to be that tight to the guard.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't want to be dead behind when she finishes here either. After watching Danielle Inglis play the freeze on the last one, you'd probably be content to roll open here.
I would think so. Yeah.
Make sure she can't freeze something partially buried.
This will be fairly quiet.
Just the skip stones left to come here in the 4th. This is the first from Katie Ford. With a 4-point lead, looking to make the gentle tap back on the shot stone back of the 4. They're on the brush right away, though, and this has got to get by to the blue guard.
It's on the guard.
It's on the guard and on the guard thick. Might have rolled that over a little bit. They called the brush on right out of her hand.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the saving grace there is you remove the guard. Where does Danielle Inglis put this? I mean, she's got to sit 2. She doesn't have a lot of cover.
Mm-hmm.
And if she starts to come into the 4 foot, there's always the possibility she could leave a double. And I mean, she's got to come towards the 4 foot. She can't sit second shot in the 12 anywhere. So she's tapped across the center line here. She wants to just bite the forefoot at the top. That's the best spot she could put it to not leave any kind of chance at a double. It's just you're playing with an awful small piece of ice here.
I know that's the problem.
Kind of the scoreboard dictates you have to take those chances, though, I think.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And if you make this real good, Katie Ford just picks one of them out. And the best you're doing is shooting for 2.
Well, given the last end and the outcome, I'm sure Danielle would take 2 and just let's go to the next end.
Yeah. Line looks really good. Sweepers have backed away from it a bit now. Pretty much right where she tapped the ice.
Yeah, she's always been a good drawer.
Katie's going to look at still hitting the one at the back, this time with a little more weight. She doesn't care if she takes it out off of her own. Nose hit, she'd have shot rock, and at least Danielle would have to play it. She wouldn't have a lot of room to roll.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably worth considering here as well that if you ever hit this broom side and roll out, Danielle got her last one just deep enough that she could follow it down, come to the face of her own stone and sit 2. So she can, if this rolls out, she can play the exact same draw if she wants to.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not always just for the thrower that you do that either. It's, the brushers just saw that path too. They know what the speed's like. So Katie Ford with her last one would like to hit this right on the nose, sit 1, force Danielle to play a different shot to try to score her deuce. Sweeping that to curl, a little dangerous. They actually will get the roll partly in behind the red. Aggressive call, but a great shot.
Great outcome. Great outcome.
A little bit of risk trying to hit it on the center line side. You over curl on this and jam it. You could give up a shot for 3, but
yeah, it was right about just at the hog line. I thought, they haven't swept this enough. It's going to curl and roll out the low side, but no, not only does it not roll out, it stays for a shot.
So Danielle's going to play the red one back. Now, she can make it for 2 because it's in far enough that her shooter would be in for second, but to me, and with Danielle's strengths, I thought she'd come at the blue direct. She can still see half of it. It's not a much different path than what she just threw. She would only need about 5 or 6 feet more weight.
Yeah, I thought the same.
They're on the brush early. Yeah, anything past the nose, she'll have a hard time holding the run back stone. They got to hold it. They got to hold it. She's going to make the hit, catches the second stone, but it rolls a little bit too far. It's just going to be the single point for Danielle Inglis here in the 4th. Katie Ford with a 5-2 lead, and she will have last rock once again in the 5th.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline, Join the revolution.
Hey Canada, head on down to Montana's and get the best of both worlds. Enjoy our 7-ounce sirloin aged for 50 days, flame grilled and served with your choice of 2 sides and onion rings. Just $25.99 every day. Plus, for a limited time, add a Canadian lobster tail to surf your turf. Only $10 more. Dive into this or our lobster spinach dip, lobster mac and cheese, and more. Only for a limited time. Come for the barbecue, stay for the flavor. Only at Montana's, Canada's home for barbecue.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
Danielle Inglis only able to get the single point with her final stone in the 4th in, trails by 3 as we begin play here in the 5th. Katie Ford, we've talked about the standings a few times already, but when you're playing these round robins, the standings, we can start almost on day one. Every game is so important. The suspense starts building from the opening draw. You know that it looks like 3 wins is going to get you in. Katie Ford a chance to perhaps secure that 3rd win here this afternoon. If Danielle Inglis can't pull off the comeback here, she needs to win her final game tonight, and then she's going to need to hope that 2-2 and whatever her draw to the button score is good enough to get a piece of that playoff situation tomorrow. There's pressure. They're only playing their 3rd game for both teams, and there's a lot of pressure here.
Yeah, it's not like, the old triple knockout where if you don't have a great game, you go, hey, we still have 2 lives left.
Yeah, we're still playing. We're still alive. That was the difference to the triple. The downside on the triple knockout, though, is if you had to come through the C, in a lot of cases you were playing a lot of games, whereas if you came through the A, and it might not have been the case here depending when they started, but a lot of times you don't play a game the day before the championship round because you qualified the day before that. So you'll find a lot of teams that would tell you if you can play through the B, it's the nicest path, but you're never guaranteed you're going to win through the B.
And I was just going to say, have you ever seen a team that come out the A side and said, no, I don't want the spot?
No, they'll always take it. But we've done a few triple knockout events this year, and I've seen a lot of A event teams lose their first game, which is always the problem, right? Because the ice, well, not really even so much the ice, it's more the rocks, especially with these rocks that they condition before each event. While you're sitting for a day and a half, those rocks are straightening out just ever so slightly. It's not big. They're usually still curling, but it's not the same as it was the last time you played a game. And sometimes that can cause enough problems early in the game. You fall behind, and I've seen a number of those teams eliminated in the quarterfinals this year.
Oh, for sure, yeah. We did a game there, maybe a month ago, where the team that came out the A side, they had only played 2 games.
Yeah, that can happen too if you get an uneven draw. Sure, somebody ends up with a bye and wins their first 2 and they're in.
So they played, I guess, I don't know, we'll say 2. They might have even played Thursday night, their first game. I can't remember. But yeah, they sat for a full day. Now, they might have got into practice, I don't know. But
they will usually get a practice session, yes. Shot here to make a play on the redstone, but it's going to be a little bit thin. Moves the 2 stones in the rings. Shooter will hang around at the edge of the 12, and that redstone still maybe a sliver in behind the guard.
Yeah, it is a little.
It's still got white paint underneath it too, but this time
That's
it's
right.
the button. It's the button now instead of the 8-foot. And a chance to do a couple of things here, looking for Calissa Daly to come into the rings, get partly behind the guard, maybe just bite the top of the 4-foot, but she can also protect the shot stone with that as well. almost in a situation, I think, now, if you're Danielle Inglis, you have to be thinking hard steal here. I mean, you still have a little bit of time, but you're down 3. You certainly can't see a deuce go up against you. You're going to need to steal somewhere. You give up 1 here, you get 2 back. I guess that puts you 2 down with 2 to play. You'd be stealing 1 at a time. On the other side of the coin, you've got Katie Ford up with the hammer. She did the quick math, said that's the 5th rock. We can start peeling guards now. Any red rock in the back corner can't hurt you. You always have to look at where the rocks are situated just to try to figure out how long each team's going to go with the same approach. You know they're going to throw the guard right now. Ford's going to continue to try to peel it. But that shot stone on the top of the button is easily a good enough stone to steal with. If Danielle Inglis has to, she'll guard it right through to her own last stone. Sometimes with that stone, if that stone in the rings isn't one that you think can steal, you might have to find a different shot somewhere along the way. So now you put the shoe on the other foot. Take a look at the other side of it. Katie Ford knows that Danielle's going to guard this right through to her last one. If she gets a chance to play some kind of a double, if they leave her angle, and this one already might be close enough together. She's eyeing up the triple. Red guard over the top of the red in the 12-foot. Try to drive it back. Even if you stuff that, or no, she's playing the straight double. She's not even playing the guard. This is risky. If you just pick this, Danielle has a chance to bring a second one into the top 4 foot behind cover. I don't love this call.
No, I think this is kind of one of those inexperienced calls.
Yeah, right now, if you play this in through, and she's just going to peel the guard, so she gets away with it.
Yeah, maybe she was just lazy, and didn't want to walk that far up.
Yeah,
let's go with that.
I don't think so. But if you just pick that one in the 12-foot out, and Danielle gets to bring another one in, well, now you're facing the possibility of a steal of 2. If you just peel the guard, you're never looking at 2, I don't think, on the last one, unless you think Danielle would bring one around that stone at the top 12-foot. She might.
Yeah, I think the outcome that she got was the that should have been the call.
Well, I didn't mind the triple. It was tight
the
enough for the
triple
ring.
was fine. Yeah, I just don't see how you played the
peel. Yeah, she could play the peel from the other side with some weight. Because I don't think you're likely to get a better chance than that one. I can't imagine that the well, and then here they're going to bring this one tighter, but it's partly over curled. I'm not sure why they continue sweeping that at the end. It's tempting here to just pick out shot rock. You're not going to get a better chance. Yeah. Anytime you get a chance to remove a rock on the button, you play it. She can't draw one better than that. This time they're looking at the triple. I in this spot, I'd be more inclined to look at shot rock. You've got a chance to get that stone off the button. If it overcurls and picks one of the other 2, that's fine. This is a good shot too if you make it. It's a much tougher shot. You're looking at moving 3 stones here.
I probably would favor this if I was playing, but I certainly also see the advantages of hitting shot rock, given where the the shot rock was situated right on the button.
Moves the 3. Good shot. Made it well. Does leave 2 guards in that center line area, but again, Danielle Inglis can't make this draw better than the one that they just had. The best they could do is make it as good. Kira Brunton on the in-turn side. She'll look to get back into the top of that button area. Starting to curl as it crosses the hog line. Now can they get it deep enough? They had to wait for it a little bit.
Good shot.
And she will bring it down, bite the top of the button. Triple still there. She's looking at the straight double on the reds. She might be able to see enough of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's going to play the triple, though. It's very close to the shot she just played.
Yeah.
And this time, because there's a little bit of angle, if she hits it right, she could clean everything off the center line. Blue just slightly across the top of the red at the top 12 foot. Have it come straight back. Everything's going to be rolling off the center line. A little thin on the first one and just misses the stone at the top 12. Have to think Danielle's going to throw at least one more guard. She might just straight guard both of them and try to get her one, although, if you throw the guard here and they just peel the guard off, she could try to come around right to the face of her own stone and put the threat of a steal of 2 into play.
And I think Danielle would play that.
I think the scoreboard kind of says you have to, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to try to put some pressure on. A steal of 1 doesn't put a huge amount of pressure on Katie Ford right now. She'll try to draw, and if she makes it, she gets her point. And if she doesn't, well, 1 point still leaves her 2 up with the hammer, playing 6. First things first for Danielle. She needs to get the guard up.
Mm-hmm.
This is a long ways out there. She's got to get a piece in front of that stone on the 12 foot.
Never leave it. Never leave it.
Yeah, I would say she needed a bigger piece than that.
Mm-hmm.
The double on the 2 reds in the rings is there. Katie lining it up. You saw Emily in the house suggesting that, there's no chance. And she's right, but she did look at it. Like, if you hit this across the face of the red, it's going underneath that blue on the other side.
Yeah.
Might even be able to hold the shooter and sit 3 here. Not that a count is necessarily that important for Katie Ford here, although if she can pick up 2 or 3, this might be handshakes.
Yes.
Make the double here. It puts big pressure on Danielle Inglis to really bury one well on a guard that is now 3 inches off the center line.
Yeah.
Line's close. Might need to curl just a hair to get the second one.
Yeah.
Just by it. Shot rock is still half open, though, now. Danielle probably has to come right in and try to Christmas tree it. That's what they're looking at. If you're going to Christmas tree it, can you not get almost right down to the face of your own? Bite some forefoot at least, and
Yeah, you can.
I think so. As long as you get a little bit. Okay, so the rock that's in there is about half covered. So if you get about 3/4 covered here, leave her 1/4 of each of them. I don't think, even if you're touching your own, I don't think she tries the double.
No, I mean, I think it would just squirt over.
Potentially, yeah. So that's probably your best bet. You're forcing her to draw a button against 2 rocks in the forefoot.
Mm-hmm. Rock is on its way here, and we'll see what she leaves Team Ford. It's got some curling to do.
Yeah, this is basically the same draw she made with her last one last end, although, we're going the other direction, so it's on the other side of the sheet. But, yeah, this hanging out needs to
unfortunate.
At least get to the nose of her own, and it's not going to. It's going to stay just high side, and she's left a nose hit double, probably for handshakes. And I don't see anything else Katie could even be looking at here. At least if you get to the nose of your own and tap it back like that, she's got to think about drawing, because there's the possibility she doesn't get the second one. It's a steal, but
I think the only thing Katie was looking at is
she's still looking at the draw. That's a tough draw to probably give up a steal of one.
Oh, yeah, she's never drawn.
Well, she's talking about it. I don't think she's going to play it, but
yeah, no, she's never drawn.
She's talking about the in-turn draw down to shot or stone. It's taking a long time to get to a nose hit double.
Yeah, I mean, I think if the odds or the percentage shot is play the hit, and if you make the double, that's great. That is handshakes.
It's essentially the shot she just played, too, really.
Yeah. At worst, you're giving up one.
Yeah. They've called everybody down to have a chat on this. This was one where if you had a coach, he'd be doing jumping jacks behind the sheet. He or she would be doing jumping jacks. They play the double.
Yeah, I can remember a time I got so excited that they were playing the wrong shot, and they weren't even looking up, that I ended up tapping on the window, and I got quickly told, yeah, you're not allowed to do that, coach. I said, well, I can't help it. They're not looking at me.
Well, I think they've talked her into playing the double. She can even
I hope
hit
they
it.
didn't have to talk to her too long to convince her that it was the shot.
I think she was the only one that was looking at the draws, and she was looking at both of them, and they're tough shots to likely give up a steal of one.
Mm-hmm.
This is never more than one, and if you get close to the nose, you don't even have to be the nose. I mean, they're only overlapped by 1/4. If she's 3/4 high side, she's probably still got enough to at least get it out of the forefoot, pick up a single. But if she can get right to the nose, Katie Ford could pick up 3 here, give her a commanding 6-point lead, probably handshakes, and that third win.
Yeah, you just can't crash, that's all. And she's not crashing.
Needs to come up a little bit more to get all of them. It's just going to jam it, so it will be a steal of one. But just the single. Danielle Inglis with a single point here in the 5th. Katie Ford still has a 2-point lead. She will have last rock once again in the 6th.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Don't forget the brooms.
Yep, you got it.
Come on up. Okay, well, what do you got? You got one, you got two, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Teams on there today.
Danielle Inglis able to secure the steal of one in the fifth end, looking for the center guard here to start things off in the sixth, and it's going to get just off the center line. I have seen some teams in this situation play the tick shot. Now, you can't play it, again, unless it misses the center line, so they don't get to play it as much anymore, and you just wonder with a team like this if that's part of the consideration here. Like last year, 2 years ago, when the tick rule wasn't in there, they probably play the tick on the guard here. But you don't get a chance to play it much anymore, and they maybe don't feel as confident with it anymore.
No, but I mean, I thought that just
she's not getting by.
Just playing a little mixed doubles, and watching them try and take away kind of that power play move by raising the corner guard.
The corner guard,
the
sure.
rings. I mean, I'm just surprised that we don't see a little bit more of that where, that's off the center, try and roll the shooter into the rings, roll the shot, the rock that was acting as a short guard or tight guard into the rings.
Pushes it just across the center line. I still don't think it's in the no-tick zone, but they'll try to throw a longer guard here. And they do want to get a piece of the center line with this one.
And I don't think it's going to get there.
No. We'll guard a little bit of the tighter guard. Katie Ford knows that on their next stone, they'll be able to start peeling things in the middle. So she's going to play away from the middle for now. Go to behind that tight corner guard that they ended up with on the last one. This is not really so much about scoring as it is about, well, and they've talked her out of it at the other end. She's going to come around the two in the middle. It accomplishes the same thing. Like, you're still going to peel guards on the next one. And by being behind the center, at least, you're not as likely to jam. You go behind the corner, it kind of limits your choices as to what turn you're going to peel with for the rest of the end.
Yeah, and I think that's one of those things that experience just teaches you. And even when you have the experience, sometimes you have a little snooze while you're skipping, and you just go behind there because that's the natural, call. But yeah, I think avoiding that corner guard leaves you both turns to peel.
I think as long as the corner guard's there, she's kind of limited to play the out-turn peels anyway. But this one, actually, by making that, you come around the corner first. Inglis is playing that. And now you've got a few extra rocks in the middle that you got to deal with. Now you've got Danielle busy trying to figure out how she's going to get shot while you're peeling the guards. Call here, it looks like, was to corner freeze the blue from the out-turn side. You could elect to come right around everything on the out-turn too and come to the back of the button, back forefoot. And that might be a plan B if they're not going to get the line here. Although this one looks like it's curling nicely. Still got room by the front one.
Not quite going to get there.
Yeah, they needed to be on that for weight as well. Straight peel on the long guard here. The two reds tighter to the rings would be available for a double after that. Well, makes the hit, but far too thick. Big shot here for Calissa Daly. This is your chance to maybe get something set up in the end. They're still going to have to deal with the blue one, but you get this red into the 8-foot in a spot where it can't be moved. There's 3 guards. It's tough to do anything about more than 2 of them anyway. Tough shot even to make a double peel. I don't know if this is getting by, though.
Yeah, it's not.
And it's a dead light as well.
You wonder if the pebbles they're starting to lose the pebble.
That's actually not what I was wondering right now. I was wondering if it's getting a little chilly out there because it looks like Katie's gone and put a hoodie on.
Yeah, I mean, we laugh at that, but
I don't know this rink. Yeah, I don't know how cold it is out there.
It must be cold because there were a lot of jackets being worn there in the draw this morning.
Well, I have to admit, this call surprises me.
Yeah, I think she's kind of abandoned that.
Well, you're all in on offense now.
Mm-hmm. Good stone.
Yeah, but Danielle Inglis is likely coming around on the outturn now. Or at least she should be. She's looking at just picking the one that was just thrown. Does she think she can get them both?
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind.
That'd be the only way you'd throw that.
Well, you would think. I wouldn't throw it anyway. She kind of still is in a need to steal spot. And with the stagger on the guard, she could come around from the out turn and get to the button. Buried.
Well, I think if you play the shot that she initially called, you're giving Team Ford an opportunity to peel the front.
Yeah, you make the double, she's peeling the guard for sure. I don't mind this other shot they're looking at, the red onto the blue. You're not going to throw it hard because you got to keep your shooter there somewhere. You could throw this as like a hack waiter. It's not critical to kill the blues if you're playing this shot. You'd like to get them out in the open at least, and it's more important that you stuff the red one behind cover. I don't think they've even considered the draw yet.
I don't think so either.
Well, this is a lot more weight than I'd be playing at this shot.
Mm-hmm.
You make it, you're not keeping your shooter. So you absolutely have to dead stuff it behind cover. Might get a biter out of the shooter, I guess. It's probably coming off that blue on the outside.
I too am a little bit surprised at the weight choice.
Yeah, if they were playing the shot, I thought they'd play it quieter, because if you stuff the red on the blues, it's not critical to get the blues out right now. You'd like to get maybe one of them behind the tee line and get the other one out in the open where you could come off it. This is real thin if she hits it at all.
Yeah.
Well, now that gives you less cover on your out-turn draw as well. I don't like that. I think if I'm Katie Ford, I'm still peeling the corner guard, or peeling the center guard. Peel it towards your own corner. Maybe it spills back into the middle. That's fine.
Well, I mean, I think you say to yourself, like, if it's...
Well, she just showed her the draw.
Yeah.
That I don't think Danielle had even seen yet.
Yeah, because I think you just say, okay, if I don't throw, what's her next shot? Well, her next shot's coming around.
But if you peel the guard at the very least, you should be able to triple the reds on the next one.
Yeah.
Boy, I don't like throwing another guard. You over curl on this, you're just making another guard for her to loop around. Shawn's old rule when I used to do a little bit of coaching was if you've got last rock and you're thinking about throwing a center guard, look around and think again. This is never a good call.
Yeah, you're really only helping the other team try and steal.
That's what we call a really tight guard.
Yeah.
Right to the top of the forefoot.
But you know what?
It's better than what she called. I mean,
I was just gonna say. I mean,
all Danielle can do is freeze to that, and she's got to move it, or else the jam doesn't even hurt Katie Ford. You'd like to, if you're Danielle Inglis, or in the case it's Kira Brunton throwing, she'd like to get just to the face of this and move it back maybe 6 inches, so that if you had to run it up, it would be shot rock. Move it behind the tee line, not bad either. Although that would leave room for them to pick the redstone out.
This is over curling.
Yeah, didn't get any curl on the last stone. This one over curling. And well light again. Now you can't peel the guards because the 3 reds are lined up to the shot rock. Not sure what you're guarding with that. And again, you don't want to be throwing center guards with last rock. But she doesn't have a shot over here, so I'm not sure what you're guarding. I don't know if that's part of the question coming from the other end or not. If Danielle could see the 3 reds, she can see a piece of the outside one, not a lot of it. She could play red on a red onto red onto the blue shot stone. But even if she dead jams it, she still would be second shot. And I'm not sure she can dead jam it. I think it goes across the face just a little. And that's probably queued up to catch shot rock as well with a little bit of drag. Still, you're not going to be shot rock after you play it. So what do you do now if you're Danielle Inglis? The draw is probably still there to freeze the face of that blue.
Danielle goes, I'm going to go up to the hog line, and I'm going to see if it looks any better from this side.
Well, she's looking at the blue. It's just debatable whether or not you can hit enough of the red coming at it direct. So she's going to play the blue guard almost straight back. Blue guard onto that 3 red combination into the shot stone. The problem is it, and it just depends how you hit it. I mean, with 3 rocks like that, you can always get a little bit of drag, but if it goes anywhere across the top, the red, when it makes contact, will spill out into the open. If she can dead stuff it, she's still only second shot rock. Although that makes it hard to
but
get
I
it.
was just going to say I don't think she can get shot rock.
No, she can't. But I don't know if she's going to have any shot to get. This is out there a bit too. She needs to be on the nose on the blue. Well, they're looking at what I'm looking at. I'm just not sure that either of us are going to find a good answer. Is there any way you can change those angles on the reds to help yourself? And I don't know if there is. I think your best bet, if you wanted to mess up the angles for Inglis, is if you could hit the highest red guard on the open side, the outside, and you only need to move it a few inches. It just needs to cross the face of the one right behind it, and now the angle is no good.
Yeah.
It's hard to hit it anywhere on the broom side and mess up the angles. Or, pardon me, on the center line side.
Center line side, yeah.
So they're going to play the straight draw, I think, here. This is your next best way to do it, is if you could tuck a piece under. Unless she's throwing another center guard, which just adds one to the... I mean, Danielle's going to play the same thing. She's just going to play the blue onto the three reds. If you're not changing the angle on the three reds, this just doesn't make the shot a ton more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I like the come around, actually. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she could get, just tucked around that red at the top of the 12-foot, she actually might take away the path on the triple run. She certainly can't hurt herself, and if it happens to rub the high guard on the way by, it probably messes up the angle too. Looks like that might be what they're playing.
Yeah. I thought she called it short. But...
she did. She did call this for a guard.
Because they too were afraid of that raise. Or bump.
Well, and I mean, it's always going to be there. Now, she might have to run the guard back again, but it's... Mm-hmm. The problem with predicting how this is going to come back, if you're Danielle Inglis, is that there's three rocks there and they all could drag a little bit. So do you hit? I'd be tempted to come at the reds directly. I think if you hit the first red thin, get a little drag on the second so that it comes more to the face of the third one, it might come more straight back, but it's a bit of a guess. She's looking for the drag to go the other way, thinking you hit the blue one on the nose, and both of them might drag a little bit left as Danielle's looking at it, and that's how you get the jam at the back.
Yeah, I mean, Danielle's just trying to get out of this end. And this is close to hitting it where she wanted to, but I don't think she's going to hit enough of it. She had to hit it nose pretty much.
So it's a chance to draw for 4.
Yeah. That may be all she wrote.
Might be all she wrote, regardless of whether she makes this one or not. It's 3 points on the board already for Katie Ford. Yeah. She's got a 5-3 lead in her pocket, and if she can grab full 12 here, it would be 9-3. A chance to move to 3-0, which should put her into the playoffs somewhere tomorrow. She's still got one more round robin game tonight.
Yeah, they just weren't sharp today. That's Team Inglis.
They've still got a game left tonight as well. Now they're going to have it. It'll be a must-win game, and then you need a little bit of help. You need a logjam at 2-2, and hope your draw to the button score is good enough. Yeah. Katie Ford with her final stone here. brings it right into the 8-foot. She'll put 4 points on the board, and that is enough for handshakes. Danielle Inglis conceding the victory. So that does move Katie Ford to 3-0, atop Pool D right now, and both of those teams will be on the ice later tonight. I want to thank everyone for joining us here this afternoon. The Curling Stadium Network has all of the games streaming all weekend long, and you will have commentary available on selected features. So Swiss Chalet Women's Curling Stadium Bonspiel. On behalf of myself, Shawn, Joyce, my partner, Terry Corbin, we want to thank you for joining us this afternoon and look forward to seeing you for the rest of the event.
Take care, people.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
'Tis the season to enjoy Swiss Chalet's festive special. Canada's favorite rotisserie chicken, cranberry sauce, stuffing, Lindor chocolates, and a scratch and win card where everyone's a winner. Your favorite tradition, the festive special. Only $17.99, only at Swiss Chalet.